All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon, March 23rd, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and this ALLG is ready to blow the roof off the freaking place. Great to see Brian and Bruce rejoining us live right now, including Pedro and Patrick. We have Marie joining us, Bill as always, as well as Chuck. Great to see all of our students and members alike inside Cyber Group, including Deb and Norman rejoining us too, loud and clear from all. And hey, if you're rejoining us as well on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back as well. So, of course, right now we'll start off by talking about the ALLG trade. Give me a quick second here. I'll flip this back to a daily chart. So you could see that ALLG is a relatively new ticker joining the New York Stock Exchange really over the last week and has just exploded. So, this was really our first look at it today, this morning. And, since it's just obviously been just taking off, going completely parabolic right now, but this is not an easy trade. It's a stock that had a 15-20 cent spread in the morning. We actually saw this stock get halted on the way down in class. I was doing our phase one stock course this morning, which is continuing later on this afternoon. But, simply as a newly enrolled student, it's not to say, hey, don't trade this stock and miss out on a giant opportunity. No, it's to say don't trade this stock if you don't know how to trade this stock. Because if you don't know how to trade a stock like this, getting in there at the right place just at the wrong time, that could be dangerous. And we ended up seeing this stock like spike up here at this time, smack in the middle of class. And then I turned away from it. Funny thing is, I turned away from it to like take a screenshot. And we were talking about that picture, screenshot. And then out of nowhere, I saw on my other computer that ALLG just completely dropped off and got halted down. So that couldn't have proved my point any better live in the phase one stock course. But man, this thing ended up making a hell of a bounce, didn't it? Ended up basically bottoming out roughly off 16, moved up just about 5.5 points higher so far. So it's right back to all-time highs. Hey, I'll put this easily on our watch list here for the close. It's not an easy trade, though. That's for damn sure. So, let's see if maybe even 20 or 2050 could hold as a big support level for it to generate a higher high later on off of. So, yeah, ALLG will put on our list here to begin. Before I go further across the gainers or losers lists here, and perhaps you would have found this on the gainers side, but I got to give the answer now. So for all of us live inside Cyber Group, I played a quick game here with you folks. I said I'm currently in one trade. I sent this right at 2:29 Eastern Time. I said I'm currently in one trade, not ALLG. So that eliminated ALLG. Any guesses? Well, longtime members here like Brian, you know me too well. I mean, I was actually in two trades, and one of them I got out on early, and it was the Neo. I went break even. It actually squeezed back up a tiny amount while I was in the other trade, that being AMC. So AMC is up over 18% right now. It's been making a really good move from the morning, of course. I ended up catching this really nicely off the opening print off of 1875, ran it up towards just about $2 higher, and still left the fortune on the table. So from there, I've been waiting for my next opportunity. I took a couple of ins and outs here, break even, and then I ended up taking a 12-cent loss. So I ended up getting chopped up a tiny amount right here heading into the early afternoon. I was trying to get the slingshot right off of not just $21, but $20.94. Really briefly for this one, because I gotta go through this meeting. I also got to manage this trade if it ends up pulling back. But we talked about this just over 24 hours ago. Not on AMC as much. It was on Neo during Traders Talk Workshop. That was from yesterday morning. But we ended up seeing in relation, at least to a big print, not the opening bell print this was, but at 2094, there was a 500,000 share print filled at the ask. Is that someone looking to load up and buy? Is that someone looking to just get out and just sell and that's it? We don't know that answer. And for anyone that says that they know, they don't know. They're blowing smoke. So it's to say we need to read the reaction after, and reading the reaction after will give us a better idea than not if the stock is going to make the move. So even over here, this led actually to a nice little slingshot prior to 1 o'clock that I had missed. I didn't take this trade here at the time, but I started to get chopped up heading into the 1:30 time frame here, looking for that squeeze. Right here, I thought I had it. Up and down. Right here, I got chopped around. And then recently, right before we started the meeting, when it broke back over 21, right away, I ended up taking the entry, anticipating the slingshot that we have here. So for right now, AMC, we're definitely going to just put it on our watch list alongside the ALLG. In my opinion, to each their own here, but I think that a stock like AMC, even though it's still pretty damn volatile, I just think that at least having the penny spread, the easier to read order book, it will make it easier for you to anticipate taking a trade or anticipate to get out of a trade. So for right now, there's actually about an 82,000 share iceberg on the ask. I'll show that once more right up top at 22. So we'll definitely put the AMC trade on our list. Let me just jump back because AMC is moving. If AMC is moving as well as it was yesterday, then I'm assuming that GameStop is going to make a similar move, albeit GameStop is not nearly as close to its high so far, roughly over 150, whereas AMC is holding a lot stronger. So, I was hoping actually to see GameStop closer to the highs because on these like meme stock days, when like you get all the people on Reddit, trying to squeeze these stocks up. Historically, over the last year and a quarter, we've seen that GameStop and AMC have really good correlation in that sense. So hey, keep GameStop on the side, keep it as a potential guide for you to try and follow some of the other meme stocks like AMC, or I haven't even checked in on Bed Bath Beyond yet today. That was one of the ones back a year ago, back in the beginning of last year. This thing's doing trash right now. Express was another one. Same thing. This one's looking really bad. All right, might just be a GameStop AMC day. Norman says AMC is not that easy to read. Depends on what you're following. Do you have Bookmap? Because with Bookmap, it makes it pretty easy to identify the 22 level and the 2094 print. Doesn't mean that on every second of the trade it's easy. So, if you got chopped up a couple of times like I did, at least heading into the early afternoon, we're not perfect, right? But it's a matter of knowing when it's best to get into a trade, or really, hey, I took the same setup a couple of times. If I got chopped up a third time, perhaps I'd lack the confidence to take it that next time. So, that's where I'll say, at least on this instance, thankfully it paid off nicely. And, hey, I'm still not fully out of the doghouse yet. This still may come back down. So I'm going to manage this trade as we continue to go through this meeting. But let's see what else is across the gainers and losers lists here otherwise. We have the CELZ, and really quick, folks, I'll just tell you right out the gate, so hopefully the stream doesn't get messed up in between, but oh man, my computer has been like lagging today. I don't know if it's a computer issue, browser issue, and I've been private chatting some students and the messages have been like really delayed, so kind of odd. So let's see if we can go through this meeting as best as possible. But CELZ right now, flat. Not really too interested in this. I had a really good entry on this trade off of 272. That was a pretty strong chart level that we had from the daily chart. And I'm more so referring to what we had back here, right? Back like, late January, 274, 272, 270, right there. I was anticipating for a former resistance to act as a new support level. And that's what happens here, at least, a little break under and over and then ran pretty nicely. I know one of us was watching this trade hoping for a squeeze back up earlier in the afternoon, but it doesn't look like it, honestly. So I'll pass on it right now. If it ends up popping during this meeting, I would definitely give it a second look. All right, XRTX, not looking great either. We'll kind of pass over. All right, we keep it going. Lbps, this one's trying to eat back up. Keyword trying. I mean, from a zoomed out look, still looks really flat, but over the last 30, 45 minutes, it's been moving up just about 50 cents or almost 50 cents. So, it doesn't look bad recently here. Just still has this patchy and thin order book. So you need to be careful for a false break here. And also it is to say the stock made such a big move in the pre-market and dumped off, so it made such a big move after the market opened up and dumped off. So I feel like this type of stock is just going to be more exhausted than anything. So we'll see, but I'm going to pass on this for right now. Neo's running back up pretty nicely. I shouldn't have gotten out of that trade at first there. I took a break even right from 2160 level that I called out inside the trading room. All right, CISO. We'll definitely put this on our watch list, not just because I know that Fausto's listening in. He typed that in inside the trading room just about 30 or so minutes ago, the CISO trade. So, of course, I have to put it on the list if he's watching it, right? Well, he's watching it with great reason. It's up over 26%. He had called it out prior to 2 o'clock. So, when it first made this breakout here, which was a great call at the time, but now even more so, it pulled back, but now it's trying to move back up again. So it's more of the recent sling here that I'm a fan of. Hopefully this continues. It is a bit of a gap fill, isn't it? It's like a funky gap to fill here as well. I don't know what the heck happened here back in mid-January. Stock at one point was like a $48 stock. Then next thing you know, the next morning it was at 723 where it had opened up. So I don't know about that, folks. It's above those prices here. So we'll call it a gap fill. I'll call it one. But for right now, it just needs to break higher and show more signs of life around that 1050 area. All right, AMC is starting to cruise back up. Anybody in on the AMC trade, by the way, right now on AMC or even Neo? I'd call that out at least before the meeting started. Let me know if you're in either, or even the ALLG. Let me know as well. How about that? All right, let's keep it going across the gainer side here for right now. DRTS trading about just over 10,000 shares a minute. You could say it's trying to make a move up, but the order book is like paper thin, really, really thin. So that I'm not a fan of more than anything. And Charles B in on ALLG, while James is in on the AMC trade with me. Nice catch, James. Let's get the test of 22 on AMC. All right, getting through this gainer side here first, though, folks. The IQ trade, great stock to keep on your side list pretty much on a day by day basis now. That doesn't mean it will be a great trade every day. But I personally think every day you should at least, check this out in pre market, see if there's some sort of trend or, levels to work off of. Because just over the last week and a half, this thing's been on a huge tear. I made reference to this just a month ago, and I told you at the time, transparently so, listen, I don't know when it's going to happen. Might be next week, next month, next year. But for this stock IQ that got clobbered, crushed from 45 all the way down, that type of stock is going to make some sort of short squeeze. Just look what happened on AMC and GameStop, right? So, the same is to be said on this stock IQ and plenty others perhaps. But, great run from earlier this morning. It's still trading a lot of volume per minute, but little flat here for right now. So for this afternoon, not as keen to it, but tomorrow morning, right away, check back in with it right away tomorrow morning. Blue Apron trying to eke back up, a little short squeeze stock as well, but um, I don't know, not really trading a lot of volume per minute right now. That one isn't. All right, here's GameStop. I'm just going to skip over that for right now. We already talked about that one at least. Alongside IQ, how about this CENN? Keep this on your side list as well at a minimum. Just, it's trading a lot of volume day by day, has really liquid order book, consistently tight spread, obviously really cheap too, like the IQ trade. So, I like this on a like a side list, type basis here, the CENN. All right, to round out the gainer side here, a couple other familiar names. We'll check in on Kodak, KODK, former runner. I know Fausto was calling that out shortly after the market had opened here, but and I guess you could say it's trying to eke up a little bit, but not really trading a lot of volume right now. BTU is pretty close to the highs. HOD here, close to it on BTU. It's also close to the highs that we had back from like early March, right? Wow, really? That's like 52-week highs as well. I knew that this was on a huge tear back from 2021, but this is my first look in a little while on the daily here. So not only is it continuing to push up here today, but it's approaching the monthly highs here for right now. That's roughly off of 27.28. I don't know if this is all-time highs though. Nah. Oh, you might want to be a little careful on this BTU trade, huh? Getting pretty damn close to historical resistance that we had back from like, late 18, early 19. 2781, 2723, 2736, 2710. Right around that 27 area, 27 and change. That is definitely a pretty strong historical support. And you could even see back in early March, it came right up to that area and bounced right off it. So, you know what, BTU, I'll put on our list. I mean, as a day trade more than anything, it's pretty close still to the highs. Just be wary of that historical resistance here. All right, let's see. Anything else here on the gainers side? We got to jump on over to the losers list. We got to finish this meeting up rather quickly. I want to make sure our students have enough time to get into the classroom, make sure that they're squared away with the tech and audio stuff themselves. CAN, Canon. I think this was a Bitcoin mining affiliated stock. Little egg on my face sometime like over the last 6 months. I remember this. I was like, oh, Canon, the film company, right? Photography company, Canon, right? Nope. I mean, I don't check the news. So it's to say, I know that Canon, this stock, CAN, is a Bitcoin miner, ended up making the huge run with all the others back, in the early parts of last year. With that in mind, it could be a good short squeeze type of play given the right circumstances. But right now, I can kind of say the same with this as I said on the others. Good side list stock for right now. It already made such a big move from the morning, so I'm not expecting a bigger move for this afternoon. All right, there we go. We got a couple profits coming in on AMC. Donald and Don ended up getting about 20 cents on his trade. He was in from 21.50, so he got out under that 22 level. I think that was a good idea. And then Gene picking up some good dinner money on the ALLG trade. He got about 44 cents on it. All right, Sylvain, I will jump back to AMC. I already talked about AMC in full to start off the meeting. I will jump back to that, though, at the end, and especially for anyone else that's joining us here a bit late. Let's move on over to the losers list here. I'll just jump back to Deb's comment in just a moment. Let's see what else we have on the loser side here at first. Bunch of crap that is hard to borrow. I mean, that's easy for me to say for doing this meeting as long as I've been doing it. But, normally if there's a stock on the top of the losers list, I would only focus on it if it's down enough, which these aren't really, or otherwise if they're easy to borrow, which at least I know number 11 is GAN. But this is flat, not doing a whole lot here. Skin, the beauty health company. This actually looks like a nice downtrend as of late. Kind of bounced off the lows there at the time, 1626. Good order book. I wish it was actually closer to the lows here. Let's see what else we got here. In the meantime, NRSN, familiar name at least. I just want to check in with it. I know it's not shortable, but hey, for as much as this stock ran the last 2 days, back on Monday it broke all-time highs. Keep it on your side list, right? I knew I was not as likely to follow this one for this morning, but it did make a good run at first, but completely died off from that point. Just in relation to the range it made back from Monday's trading, it's going to make, a decent little move for us across this week. And that's what happened this morning. I mean, hey, hopefully it makes a bigger run over the next 2 days here. All right, let's see what else we got here. Otherwise, we got a couple of familiar names at least. At least I see PRPL. Nah. You have Adobe, pretty damn expensive. Got crushed here in the after hours last night. All right, I'll tell you what, folks. Let me just do this here first, but I think that just about does it, at least on the loser side. Hey, there could be something moving with the market, perhaps heading into the afternoon, but even the market right now is making a tiny bounce, nothing too big for us, and then otherwise it's not really dropping back down. I don't know if there's any stocks that are near the lows heading into the close. Bobby calls out the IMPP trade making a pop. Oh yeah, that's starting to make a little bit of a move. I like that. It's up over 7% for as much as this stock dropped back from Monday morning. We saw the direct offering news that came out. It's possible to see this begin to fill a bit of a gap. So for right now, especially given the afternoon spike that we have, I love this. Good call. IMPP. Grant says IQ looking good. Mm, yeah, it's inching up a little bit here. It wouldn't hurt us to put this one in particular on our watch list, but then I open it up to like the 15 to 20 other stocks that look like this. If I put this one on our list, then I got to put the others on. You know what I mean? So, that's where I'll say if you've done really well on this IQ trade over the last few days, you know who you are already. That's a great stock to at least keep on the side. The CRK trade, how about that? Norman picking up 12 cents on it. He was in from like 11 or so. Yeah, nice little move here. Just broke a new high a moment ago and up over 12%. Comstock Resources. Interesting. Looks like it's testing the highs back from October of last year, roughly around that 11 area. 1134 was the high back then. Let's just take a look on the monthly chart. Oh no, this is nowhere near all-time highs. That's what I was checking. But you know what? Hey, it is at a pretty significant resistance, not only from the peak that we had back, earlier last year, but just looking at the monthly chart, it's like kind of itching for a breakout right now. So you know what? Even if it doesn't do it today, this is definitely one to keep on our watch list here for this afternoon, the CRK. The AMC trade just blasted 22, like just melted through that. All right, folks, on YouTube or Facebook Live, let me know if there's any other stocks that you would want me to look at or check out here before we wrap up. Patrick on the AGRI trade, which I'm also catching right now from the Cyber Group room. AGRI, it's at the highs. It's up over 15%. So all of that I do like. Bit of a spread. Liquid order book, though, which is kind of interesting. Like, the orders here on the bid and the ask aren't necessarily too thin, but it's got a bit of a spread there. So, I'm sure it will tighten up in a moment, but it's going to jump around afterwards, too. So we got to be mindful of that. For right now, it's like kind of a spotty chart. So I'm going to keep this on the side list for right now, Patrick. But, if it ends up showing more signs of life later on, for those that aren't going to be in class with myself, I know that Rich will be on the mic coming up in just about 7 or 8 minutes. So, he'll talk about this if it ends up making the pop at that time. All right, folks, we're going to call it. Actually, really quickly before we wrap up, let me just make sure I show the AMC trade. AMC is coming back down quite a bit after it broke out from that 22. Clearly a false breakout at that time. So right now, we got to see AMC build up new support again. I do see an order on the bid at 2160. I actually just see that on the matrix there on the far right side of my platform for about 46,000 shares currently on the bid. Listen, when AMC is trading nearly 400,000 shares a minute, I'm not going to put all of my faith into a 46,000 share order. That is definitely the biggest order out there on the bid at this time. So, I certainly hope to see that area hold its support over time here in the next coming moments. I'll tell you what, I also have class to teach here in about 13 minutes exactly, right at 3:05 to be exact, we'll start. But I'm not going to hold this trade going into class. So I'm going to get out at some point in the next 8 or 12 minutes from right now, folks. All right. For all of us on YouTube and Facebook Live, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day, each and every afternoon. And we got to make sure we have enough time to get ready for class. So if you have any other questions you would like to send on over my way, feel more than free to do so. Send it right on over to josh@ctutrading.com. I always like to post my email here at the stream at the end. And then otherwise, if you're joining us on YouTube or Facebook Live, if you're interested in joining our live trading room of ours, feel more than free to do so. All you got to do is go right down to the link on the banner below, the yellow banner below the stream right there, to get yourself started. So it's a week-long trial for $9. So, it's more or less just to see if this is something that you could personally do going forward or not. Listen, not everyone is meant for trading. And, that's certainly to be said here, right? We have a couple of us that have found a really good groove early on. But at the same time as that, though, this moves relatively quick, right? So, day trading isn't for everyone. The trial membership to our live trading room is just for that test to see if this is for you or not. So for all of us on social media, if you wanted to join us, continue our audio commentary for this afternoon, one more time, just go right down to the link on the banner below to sign up. From Robert, he says, I'm ready to join. Can somebody call me? Absolutely. I'll make sure that one of our education advisors reaches out to you, Robert, inside our chat board here in just a moment. Let me just post and tweet the picks first. We'll post the link for class coming up in a moment from that point. And then, Robert, we'll make sure your education advisor gives you a call. All right. For all of us, otherwise, I look forward to speaking to you in the Phase 1 stock course coming up. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9.